Hi, Debbie Mack here, and here's 10 reasons why I might be secretly British. 1. When I was in Ireland and the UK, I kept running into people who loved talking about books. Complete strangers. How come that never happens to me here in the US? 2. I've always loved shows on the BBC. When I was a kid, I loved the Avengers. Emma Peel was like my heroine. I wanted to be her when I grew up. And Prime Suspect, I remember when that came out, and I just loved that show. It was so realistic and gritty. I can go on and on about the BBC, and I probably will. 3. I remember the first time I saw that BBC show, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'll never forget it. I loved it so much. And I thought, wow, this show is so awesome. And no wonder people like Douglas Adams. I've got to read the books now. And of course I love the books. And now whenever I get anxious, of course, I always think of the 2 friendly words, don't panic. 4. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I've been watching it since the mid-1990s when they used to show it late nights on Saturday. It was the old show, of course. The first Doctor I got to know was Tom Baker, and I just loved him and the scarf of his. And Sarah Jane was the first companion I got to know, and I just loved her. And it's just such a great show. I've loved it for so long, and I feel like seeing the renewal of it has been wonderful. It has been different but wonderful. And so I'm just a diehard Whovian. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just a great show. And whatever happened to the idea of female Time Lords? I remember Romana, for instance. How come they don't bring back a character like that? Maybe River Song is supposed to be like that? I don't know. 5. I think, like most mystery writers, I grew up reading Agatha Christie, so I even started off reading British books. And of course I was a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. I loved Basil Rathbone in those old Sherlock Holmes movies, and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. My friend used to call him Razzle Bathbone, but I loved Basil Rathbone. He was so great in that part. And also, once I got to know Dorothy L. Sayers, I was just hooked. I had to read all the books in her series once I started her because I loved Peter Wimsey and Harriet Vane. 6. How many Americans do you know who own one of these hats? Or a TARDIS necklace? Or have a TARDIS cookie jar? Check this out. Ooh. 7. I'm a big fan of Red Dwarf also. It was on Saturday nights late along with Doctor Who on Maryland Public TV, and I got hooked on that. When we went to the UK, when we were in Scotland, which was our first stop, Glasgow, we went to a restaurant and I had tried the curry because Lister was so wild about curry. 8. I love so many of the current shows on BBC America. Ripper Street, Orphan Black, The Musketeers, and of course, Doctor Who. 9. I just felt so at home while I was over there. I don't know what it was exactly. The people were so nice, and I loved the language. I loved the lingo. When I came back, elevators were lifts, and parking garages were car parks. I just loved the sound of that slang. It just sounds cooler. 10. How many Americans do you know who love Jammy Dodgers and Marmite?